And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster, touching base with you as I do every day. How's everyone doing? I hope you're doing well on this wonderful Tuesday. It is our Tip Tuesday. So today we'll be talking about how to capture everyday life, family life in photos. So that's going to be fun. And since all of us have our little smartphones, and we love to capture events and stuff that's happening around. Well, let's focus on our families. And I had the opportunity during the holidays to photograph my family and just kind of like just being a fly on the wall and just capturing some of the most I think most intimate events for the family. It's been absolutely wonderful. So we're going to talk about that. So that is for our Tip Tuesday. And there's interesting headlines in the news, but we'll talk about some of them. I'm just curious about what's on your mind today. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? How are you feeling? And then I think we'll move from there. And I see some folks already in the building. We're going to do some greetings. If you're in the building, make sure that you hit the likes so that way the algorithms could get out there and say, hey, there's activity over there. There's activity. So do that. And also, if you are in the Instagram world, welcome to our channel. It is good to see you. And you are more than welcome to join us over at our Touch Base Daily over at YouTube. Just go into Touch Base Daily on Google and it'll take you straight here. And so we got all that stuff. I think I got everything. Those morning prelims of information going out there. Let me put this out here as well. Now that I have the Instagram page up and running. And yeah, we always gotta include it. We gotta always include Instagram. Hey, what we have to do it. We have to do it. At least I have to. I know some folks don't do it all the time, but I try to do it, and sometimes I miss out on doing it. I have to be quite honest. And but today I am on it. I am on it. And when Chris is around, he reminds me, which is great. Okay. So how's everybody doing? Let's say hello to some folks. Let's see who's in the building. The first person in the building with the gold medal today is our wonderful Hannah. She says, good morning, Ron and Touch Base Daily family. With the silver, coming in for the silver today is Miss Kimmy. She says hello. And for the bronze, my work wife and friend of decades is GR Houston Jack. She says, good morning. I'm filming but listening. Nice. Yeah, she's always working. She's on the ball. Tanya Moore is in the building 2 days in a row. What's going on, Tanya? Good morning. Good morning. I know you've been here a couple more times than that, but welcome. It's so good to see you. And let's see who else is in the building. Jazzy is in the building. Jazzy Jazz is in the building. She says, good morning, beautiful people. And we have also Gwendolyn says, SSDD, I'm staying aware, but I'm living my life, spending time with my family and creating what makes my heart smile. And I think, Gwendolyn brings up a good point, is that I know a lot of folks are just exhausted with the country, exhausted with what's going on in the world. What's happening, I can't even say the world. It's really things that are happening because of America. But people are like, you know what? I'm not going that way this year. They're like, this year, I'm just kind of like keeping my sanity, keeping my mental capacity, keeping my energy positive, and fighting when there's need to fight, organize when it's time to organize, but also making sure that peace is at the center of our daily lives. And I am in agreement with that. And that's why I'm now kind of like balancing what news I should bring to you guys. Because remember, this is a community for photographers and creatives. And so we don't necessarily have to do the news, but it does for some of the folks that are in our communities that don't look at the mainstream news, sometimes, and I've heard from them, they say, "Oh wow, thanks Ron for mentioning that because I didn't know it." And then they went out and researched and they went out and sought the information. So it's a balancing act. It is definitely a balancing act of keeping your sanity in the insane world. I see also in the building. Wow, Mr. Chris Edwards is in the building. He says, "Good morning. Good morning, my buddy and partner in crime." Also, Bryson's in the building. He says, "What's up, Ron? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first Tuesday of 2026. Yes, yesterday was the first Monday, and today is the first Tuesday of 2026. Here's a question for you guys. When do you stop saying Happy New Year's? Do we stop saying Happy New Year's after January 1st? Or do we still say Happy New Year's? How long do you say Happy New Year's? I'm curious. Put it in the comment box. How many days after the new year do you continue to say Happy New Year? And I'm just curious. Curious minds wants to know. Hey, Lisa's in the building. She says, "Morning, everyone." So good to see Lisa in the building. And Omar is in the building. V1D5Q. Hey, all, this is Omar on his work YouTube channel. Nice. And let's see here. And Gwendolyn's asking, "Hey, Omar, are you sharing work content on this channel? We would like to know. We want to support." Jazzy says, "Good morning," with a list of names. And what's up, Gwendolyn? What's up? And I see Hannah says, "I don't see Kim and Gwendolyn, Jazzy, or others. Are you on the vertical or are you on the horizontal?" You looks like you are on the vertical. Come on, switch over to the horizontal on YouTube. I know that there's two, vertical and horizontal. If you see the smartphone icon, that means you are on the vertical. So you go to YouTube, go to the horizontal landscape. Okay, so it is, yeah, sometimes you don't see everything on the vertical. Okay, and Chris said it depends. Lisa says no, just year. Is that just on New Year's Day? On New Year's Day, do you say Happy New Year's, and then after that is no more Happy New Year's? Brian says never, nothing at all. Okay, and Gwen says I go a month or until it's the second time I've seen them. Nice. I say I am one that says Happy New Year pretty much for the month of January. If I see someone for the first time in the month of January, I will say Happy New Year because it's still a new year. I mean, it's we're still in the embryonic stages of it. I see Gwendolyn says, "Yeah, I've noticed what the YT pushes the vertical, but always look for the landscape." Yeah. Oh, it's YT. You mean YouTube. when people use the YT, I don't know if they're saying YT or they're using it for YouTube, but in this case it was YouTube. And let's see here. Kimmy says maybe a week after if I haven't seen the person. Okay, I'm here. Everyone's got different. And Chris says if you haven't seen someone, even if it's in February, you can still say it. Okay. And Chris says, "Hey Chris, what's going on, Chris?" She says, "I'm with Gwen." Don't call her Gwen. You must say Gwendolyn. All her friends know it's never Gwen, it's Gwendolyn. So I just name it so you don't get in trouble in the future. But Gwendolyn is her name. And so make sure you say Gwendolyn. Lisa says, "No, you were saying Happy New Year's. There is no S." Oh, okay. I hear it. Some people say it and some people don't. Just New Year. I go about 2 weeks maybe. Okay, cool. Sounds good. And Adrian's in the building. He says, no, 2 weeks max on Happy New Year. And Chris says, my bad, Gwendolyn. Get that, you gotta say it in, say it, Gwendolyn. It's Gwendolyn. Okay, so yeah. Oh, just so you guys know, I'll start in the real quick fast. The calendar is available for those that want to get the flamingo. Oh, let me get step back. I think I can get this right. Yeah, flamingo calendar is in the YouTube. Sorry, in my store on RonLouisPhotos.com, among other things that are there. But the 2026 calendar is available, and you can get that in the store. And it's been approved by the team. My small team said, "Okay, I like it. It looks good. Everything's in place. Let's do it." Okay, so there you have it. Gwendolyn says, "No worries, Chris. It happens. G is just fine too." Lovely. So what else is on your, Lisa says G money. What else is on your mind today? And yeah, I don't really have a lot to talk about today because I'm trying not to. Again, I did watch the news, so I am a news junkie, so I did watch, and there's a lot to talk about, but then there's really nothing to talk about. I mean, we already know what Venezuela was all about. And we know that this is probably a primer for invading, or it seems that they want to go into Cuba, because they are still holding on to all of the warships are still in place. Airspace is restricted. So there must be some other activities that are going on, or that could be in the plans or in the future. We'll have to stay tuned to what's going on in the Caribbean. And yeah, so that's in the news. But we also want to make sure, I mean, not us, but the news media will hopefully continue to be connecting and saying, hello, we need to still know what's going on with the Epstein folks. It's amazing. They have the power and the will to arrest this leader that was obviously renegade and no one really liked anyway. I mean, but some of his people did. But then yet there's so many, I mean, Trump, to me, it's always wild that Trump is a criminal. He is pardoning criminals. He is all about the criminal life. And yet he's hunting down criminals in his mind. I mean, in the name of hunting down criminals. Ridiculous. I see here. Oh, who's in here? Ken Jenks is in the building. Beautiful home. This is not my home. You can see it's the what do you call it? The backdrop that you can add on to when your situation doesn't look as good. So I wish it was my home. I mean, could you imagine if I had a piano in my house? And Lisa says, I saw something that said that he went willingly. Yeah, there is rumor that maybe this could have been a setup, that he was really trying to get out of the country and that this was a good excuse. But I also say maybe not. I mean, I am a believer that you do not spend, you do not put all of your forces in the Caribbean island, and you don't have 150, I think the number is 150 or 115 military apparatus to extract one person, or for someone to say, hey, I need you to create a camouflage or something to make it look like I'm being, I'm getting out of the country by force. I mean, I don't know. I don't believe that could possibly be. I do believe American policy is shifting, and as you know, there's a long history, which I'm going to bring to you from Mr. Kevin. Did I say Kevin or Keith? Keith, who does a lot of these things. I'm going to share that with you guys. Dr. Tachi's in the building. Did I say that? Dr. Tachi is in the building. Bryson says, been moving around. This award season is officially started, and we got Actor Awards nominations on Wednesday and Golden Globes on Sunday, says our correspondent in entertainment, Mr. Bryson. And let's see here, Dr. Tachi and everybody. Okay. And also from our correspondent, he says, and everybody is upset that Timothy Chalamet beat Michael B. Jordan, Leonardo DiCaprio for Best Actor in Critics' Choice Awards Sunday night. Thank you, Bryson, for that information. Hannah says, we are going to our 25th wedding anniversary cruise starting Sunday. Congratulations, Hannah. 25 years of marriage is an awesome thing. We received a notice that our itinerary could be changed due to this Trump stuff. The Caribbean Sea is on lockdown. Caribbean airspace is on lockdown. So yes, you may want to check with your carriers if you are going to the Caribbean. Lisa says, how can we rule them? We don't even speak their language. It's kind of, it does. First of all, how can we rule them when we can't even take care of what's going on in America? We can't, these Republicans can't even do the right thing for America. How are they going to oversee another country the size of, I think they say the size of Germany and France put together? How are we going to, really? G says, first, happy anniversary to Hannah. And second, that really sucks. Yeah, Hannah says, although we have been together for 100 years. Yes, that is beautiful. Happy anniversary. And I see all the happy anniversaries going up. Happy anniversary. Put them all in there. Chalamet. And what's up, Tachi? There's some folks in the building. Okay, so let me take you to something that I wanted to share with you. Definitely. And this is what I wanted to share. Okay, here we go. And because I think this sums it all up perfectly. If there's anything I want to share about this whole Venezuela thing, and since we all in agreement yesterday that we've been here before. Well, Keith Boykin really did a great job in his summary, and I think we should share that. So let's do that. And this is from Keith Boykin's page on Instagram, and he does a great job. If you do not know the history of Latin America and the United States, well, now you will.
To the U.S. from Cuba and Haiti and other places that Donald Trump calls countries, maybe because the U.S. invaded Cuba in 1898, 1906, 1912, and 1917, back to coup in 1933, which eventually led to an uprising against the U.S.-backed Batista regime in 1959 and a failed American attempt to overthrow Fidel Castro at the Bay of Pigs in 1961. Or in Haiti, where the president of the country was assassinated. It's a black independent country that was forced to pay reparations to its former colonial overlord, France, and then found itself under U.S. occupation for 2 decades in the 20th century. We see a similar story in Africa, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is currently undergoing a civil war that has displaced more than 7 million people. On January 17, 1961, the U.S. facilitated the assassination of the democratically elected Prime Minister of Congo, Patrice Lumumba, and helped to prop up another dictator, Mobutu Sese Seko, for nearly 3 decades. Most of the 54 countries on the continent have been free of colonial oppression, for only 5 or 6 decades. It took 9 decades for the U.S. to settle our post-colonial divisions with a bloody civil war, and we expect them to have it all figured out after centuries of exploitation. You're wondering why Iranians chant death to America? It may have something to do with the fact that our government overthrew the democratically elected prime minister of Iran, Mohammad Mossadegh, in 1953, and propped up our own hand-picked dictator, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, for decades. And the list goes on. The U.S. invaded Guatemala in 1954, the Dominican Republic in 1965, helped overthrow Kwame Nkrumah in Ghana in 1966, helped overthrow Salvador Allende in Chile in 1973, intervened in Nicaragua, Grenada, and Panama in the 1980s, Iraq in 1991, 2003, Afghanistan in 2001.
Democratic countries actually don't invade their neighbors. Democratic countries don't use weapons of mass destruction.
But the people in those countries we bombed, invaded, plundered, and destabilized are still suffering. That's why they're leaving their home countries, because the U.S. and other world powers exploited those countries for short-term political gains. So the next time we wonder why so many black and brown countries are struggling, remember how our leaders used those countries as pawns in a global strategic chess game that impacted millions of innocent people we now want to vilify.
And I love that summary. That summary is probably one of the best summaries I've seen on the internet. And I mean, so concise, so to the point. And you think about how America has, you wonder why people don't like us. I mean, it's just is mind-boggling when the way Keith lays that out is just, I was exhausted just listening to it. Think about that. So this is nothing new that we're here experiencing with Venezuela, but check that out. That's a lot of history there, summed up by Keith Boykin, and I think that was worth sharing, so you can have that as a fuel. I'll put the link into the description after this show, so that way you can have it to be able to kind of like go through it, kind of like you can pause and say, "Oh yeah, this is history." Go through the history, look at the history, and you'll find that, not too good. There's one more thing I wanted to share from someone, and also that posted on Instagram, and I thought it was really interesting, coming from a diplomat, and this is from 2024. It's an old footage, and as the American economist, Jeffrey Sachs describes the U.S. as the most lawless country in the world. Check this out. Hold on a second. Let me pop this on. And so it just really helps us to understand where we are. And here we go. Check this out.
The United States is the most lawless and dangerous country in the world by far. You cannot believe how much misinformation we get every single day, because I have advised more than 100 governments around the world. I have seen things with my own eyes. I've seen US CIA coups with my own eyes. Governments lie, but superpowers make super lies. And if you're running the largest war machine in the world, hey, you are going to lie all the time. The entire Iraq war was not because they thought there were weapons of mass destruction. Weapons of mass destruction was the outcome of a focus group inside the Pentagon. How are we going to sell this war to the American people? Who made the decision 2 days ago that ATACMS can shoot deep inside Russia? Another brilliant move. We don't even know if the president of the United States is compos mentis right now. We have a deep state that takes these decisions, not a word of explanation to the American people. It's all lies. And I've seen it all through my life, because I've been advisors to prime ministers and to presidents and to central bank governors and to some of the wonderful people on this panel. And I've seen a lot.
And so again, this is where we are. But you know what's good about, if there's anything good about this whole situation, is that it brings awareness to American policies, how we are looked at around the world. And this guy, I mean, he's a economist. Jeffrey Sachs is an economist. But you don't really have to be of someone that's in a political position to see it, because I learned this just by traveling. Just by traveling to other countries, you realize that we do not get the truth. We don't get all the information. We are deprived. And I say that all the time here. And, we all share that. So, yeah, it's something to keep in mind as you go about your day today, as you think about this period that we're in. And again, like Gwendolyn said earlier, it's good to know these facts, know them, know what's happening, but don't let it interrupt your peace. And I see Fifi has arrived. Fifi is in the building. She says, "Good morning, everyone." And Jazzy says, "Most don't realize the reason baseball is the main sport in Nicaragua is because U.S. occupied their country, trying to create what is now the Panama Canal. They wanted it to go through Nicaragua." Fact. That is a fact. Also, Jazzy says, "Our country destabilizes countries, then we get mad that people come here. It's a mess." Very true. Very true. So there you have it, guys. Do you guys want to go straight into the lesson? Because I am ready to do that. Let's do that. Let's go right into the lesson. Let me do, before we do lessons, let me do a couple of announcements real quick, and then we'll go straight into that. That would be cool. We're going to reverse it this morning. And so the first thing I want to say is, guys, if you are a part of this community, make sure you hang out in the YouTube community on Touch Base Daily, on RonLouis Photos on YouTube. There is a community there. Reach out, connect with each other. Right now, it's Gwendolyn and I that post there, but look, there's some other folks that if you want to post something, post. If you have something to share, share. If you have photography that you want people to critique and look at, share it. Share it in the YouTube community. It is a great place to connect. And so make sure you do that. Also, make sure you go to RonLouisPhotos.com to sign up for the email list. That's also in case we're not able to be on these YouTube channels and these cyber places, that we can still reach out and connect to you through email. And also, if you're looking for an event photographer, I am an event photographer. And while I'm here in the United States, I will be photographing here, but I will also be photographing abroad, and depending on where I am. So event photography is what I do. And again, a big thank you to our Patreon members. And speaking of our Patreon folks, just so you know, our Patreon community, we were able to, let me put that on the screen so that you'll have that. Hold on, let me go there since I'm here and share this part of let me go with Patreon. Hold on a second. Let me click on Patreon page. And let's go back here. Hold on a second. There we go. Okay, here we go. So back to the Patreon page. And voila, here we go. You can share this now. So for all those, I mean, if you're in the Patreon community, you can see this. This has the store-wide sale through the 31st. You guys have a 20% discount off anything in my store. You can check on that in the Patreon community. So do that as well. Also, if you are in the Sky Blue through Black Patreon, you also have a free download, and I think you will love this download. So if you are in the Sky Blue through the Black membership of our Patreon, you have a download that you can print and frame, and you can print it up to 24 by 36, which is pretty big when you think about it. Okay, for a download. Okay, so you'll have that as well. And let's see here. Oh, were you able to see it? Hold on a second. Let me take this off the screen. You may not have been able to see it with this on the screen. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Let me just share that. I'm sorry about that. So there we have it. It's called I Appreciate You, Patreon. free download now through January 10th. And then again, like I was saying, the Sky Blue through Black Patreon family has a download of a wonderful photo for your living space. Okay, so thank you for Patreon. You are the folks that support what we do here. And last but not least, thank you for folks that keep subscribing or have subscribed. You can also subscribe if you have not to our channel. Okay, I think I got it all. I think I got it all. And I think we are ready now for, it's time for some photography tips. Tips today will be on how to capture everyday family life in photos. I could say family and friends. Family and friends. Okay, so let me see what you guys are saying over there. Okay, I got everything. Oh, Omar, let me just real quick. Omar said he has a workshop coming up. Omar, if you have that, if you have a flyer, make sure you send that to me so I can also post it in that, when we do our advertisements. Okay, here we go. How to capture everyday family life in photos. Let's get to it. A lot of us been spending time with family. This was, spurred me on because spending time with family. And I said, you know what, maybe I should share this with our community, because you love photography. You carry cameras. Some carry the big cameras and some carry smartphones. Everyone carries a smartphone. And so everyone carries a smartphone with a smart camera. So here we go. Okay, first of all, capturing everyday family life. Family moments don't always arrive dressed as milestones. Most of the beauty lives in the quiet, ordinary rhythms, the morning routines, the small gestures, the laughter that fills a hallway for no reason at all. But photographing everyday family life is about honoring those unscripted scenes and preserving the stories that unfold when no one is posing. And I'm all about the no posing. With a little intention and a gentle eye, anyone can turn daily life into a visual legacy. Have you ever gone to some of the galleries? Like you go to the museum or you go to a photo gallery show and you look at photos and they're capturing family members or people, and you're like, wow, it's unscripted. Is no one posing. Is just simply capturing a scene in time. And aren't we, a lot of us are drawn, I know I am, are drawn to those types of photos. And you may think that your family life is not important. Some people may say, hey, you know what? Why would I be photographing my family? Why would I be thinking about photographing my family? It's important. It's important because one of the things I cherish about my family, especially my aunt, who loves to take, when we were growing up, loved to take pictures. And now that I'm older, now she's been sending me lots of pictures, and I've been saying, wow, I forgot about that. Or as I was cleaning out my mother's home, I got to see all the old photos of myself and family members growing up. And I said, wow, it's great to reflect. And so don't underestimate your photos or the ability to take photos of just everyday routines in your life. First, start with the quiet moments. Family life isn't always big gestures. Encourage them to look for the in-between scenes. Someone tying a shoe, stirring a pot, reading on the couch. Those tiny gestures say more than pose portraits ever could. I was with my cousins before, I think it was right after Christmas. Yeah, it was right after Christmas. And or maybe it was before Christmas, just before Christmas. And we were all hanging out and we went to dinner, just a lunch. And my other family members came up from Florida, my other cousins. And we were all just hanging out in my other cousin's house. And I just sat there on the sofa and I just started clicking away. I just snapped photos, and it was just really nice for them to see those photos after. And other family members that weren't able to see it, be here, were able to see the photos, and they were like, "Wow, looks like you guys had an amazing time." And just snapping, impromptu. Here's another one: shoot from their level. If you are photographing kids, pets, or someone seated, dropping down to that person's eye line instantly makes the image feel more intimate and connected. You know, I always say it's all about changing your perspective. You can get down on the ground. And what we learned also, I learned this summer, when I was at the film festival, my buddy was like, "Hey, you know, you can turn the phone upside down. So since you can't get low, get down, just turn the phone upside down and take the picture. That way you get as low as you can get. Just take the phone and go upside down. Turn it upside down. But get down to the level of your subject. And it makes the viewer feel a part and connected to the subject. Next, use natural light whenever possible. I love this. I'm always looking for natural light because natural light for me makes me happy. And you can always get these beautiful lights on one side, and then you get the shadow on the other. Here we go. Window light during breakfast, soft hallway light in the evening, even the glow of a lamp. These create a mood without needing equipment. Turn off overhead lights when you can. It keeps the scene warm and clean, right? So when you're having those family gatherings, you're hanging out in the house, you're just chilling out, cut off the big light, cut off the big ceiling light, the light that lights everything, your general lighting, and just let the lamps do their work. Let the window natural light do its work. And you'll be surprised that it is also a great foundation for those that like to take their pictures and transform them into black and white. Because then you have those beautiful light and shadows to play with. So that's a good start. Okay, so use natural light whenever possible. Next, capture hands, not just faces. I have a thing about hands. Hands doing everyday tasks, braiding hair, washing dishes, writing, fixing something. Tell powerful stories. They're emotional without being intrusive, right? Take pictures of hands. You'd be surprised how beautiful those hands look. And they make for great photos on the wall. When you take that picture and then frame it, and it's a precious family member. I'll never forget, last 2 years ago, I photographed a Jewish family gathering. And there was a mother and daughter sitting on the first sitting on their in their seats, and they had their hands together, like the way they would just join their hands together, and they were holding hands during the ceremony. And I photographed their hands together. And it was so beautiful to be able to present that to them because it's something special about hands. I don't know. I like them. Next, let movement happen. Don't be afraid of movement. Family life is rarely still. A little motion blur from a child running or someone dancing in the kitchen adds honesty and energy. You don't have to say, "Oh, no, guys, don't, freeze. I want you to freeze." No, let people be themselves. And you're just the fly on the wall taking the picture. You're taking the picture. You're capturing history. You are the storyteller. You are telling the story of your friends and family. Keep it honest. Keep the movement in the shots. Next, Stay ready, but don't stage. Keep your phone nearby and unlocked, but don't interrupt the moment. The best family photos feel lived in, not directed, right? Take your phone, carry your phone around when you're with your family. Since you know, a lot of folks in this community are the photographers of their family or maybe their friendship circle. Have your phone ready if you're using your phone. I walk around with my little phone, my other camera, and I just carry it with me everywhere I go with my basic lens to photograph. And I just take the camera and place it to my face, photograph an event or a movement or something that I like. Adrian and all of us we had a brunch this weekend, which I need to get him some photos. And just taking pictures of he and Nancy and the boys, well, now the men, was really just nice to just be able to capture the moments of them interacting together, because it was a special moment. It was a brunch, but it was family time. It was everyone coming together and just laughing and talking and sharing memories. And I got to tell the boys about Adrian when he was younger. And he goes, not that story again. But it's beautiful when it's in a photo, right? They'll remember it because they saw it in the photo. Next, did I get that all in there? Okay, good. I got that. Next, photograph routines. Morning rituals, dinner prepping, bedtime, wind downs. And these are the rhythms that define a household. Over time, they become visual diaries, right? I know Gwendolyn and I talk about a lot of times because Gwendolyn she documents her family. And it's always, I mean, those are the beautiful times. It's nothing like looking back on memories. Photography. Also, include yourself. Don't forget to include yourself. You may have to throw in some selfies, and here is another way to do it. Remind yourself that you're part of the story too. Prop the phone, use a timer, or let another family member take a turn. Presence matters. Being present matters. You are part of the story of your family and your friends. Next, embrace imperfection. I talk to my buddy about this all the time because he's such a perfectionist. A messy room, a half-finished project, a crooked smile. These are the details that make the memory real. Perfection is forgettable. Authenticity lasts forever. Okay? Make sure you do that. Embrace the imperfections. It's okay. It's okay. To summarize it all, summary of the tips. Here are some items we should keep in mind. Look for the small, in-between moments that reveal real connection. Shoot from your subject's eye level to create intimacy. Use natural light to keep scenes soft, warm, and authentic. Focus on hands and gestures to tell deeper stories. Let movement happen. Embrace the blur of real life. Stay ready without staging or interrupting the moment. Document routines that define the rhythm of a household. Include yourself in the story. And last but not least, celebrate imperfection. It's what makes the memory honest. This week, your homework, as we do every week, now that we're back into the routines of Tip Tuesdays, use your smartphone to capture the precious moments of your family and friends. Q&A time. Any Q&A time? This is a good time to ask questions. What do you say? What do you say? Did you learn anything here? Was that worth it? Was that worth it? Did it trigger you? Did it trigger you to think about how to take pictures of your family and your friends? I hope so. I hope so. Anyway, that is it, y'all. That is it. If you have nothing to say, I have nothing else to say. Right? If you have nothing to say, I have nothing to say. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful Tip Tuesday. Have a wonderful Tuesday, first Tuesday of the year. Have some fun. Enjoy the day. Love you. See you tomorrow.